Hi golfers, Nick here from American Golf. I'm down at the Aintree store today, and today I'm reviewing the new Mizuno MP-18s. So I've got three heads with me today. I've got the Blade, I've got the SC, and I've got the MMC. There's also a MMC Fly High, which is available in the 2 to 5 iron, so slightly more forgiving if you want something in the longer irons. So first up, we're going to be looking at the Blade, which I have to say it looks awesome. I'm really looking forward to testing this. I think Mizuno have gone back to the sort of older designs back in the 90s with this, just reading up on it, but I have to say it looks really nice. It doesn't look too thin as well, so sometimes when you look at a Blade you can sort of sit it behind the ball and the top line can be really thin, but actually this one's a little bit thicker, so it does fill you with a little bit of confidence. But if you need a little bit more help than the Blade, you've got the SC, sort of the split cavity, and then if you need a little bit more help, you've got the multi-metal compound, which is a little bit bigger at the bottom, slightly more offset, slightly thicker top line, slightly bigger head overall. So the Blade is 30 degrees, the SC is 30 degrees, and the MMC is 28 degrees. So when I'm reviewing these clubs, obviously I'm going to be looking and factoring the loft of these clubs. You can combine the sets, so Mizuno have said that even though the loft might not match up in, say, the MMC and the SC, you can get the loft adjusted up or down just to sort of get, if you want to get them fitted if you want to. So these clubs don't come out until the 1st of September, but we've got them here at American Golf. You need to get a fit in, so they're ready for you on the 1st of September. You can do that now at any store around the country. So first up, I'm going to be looking at testing the Blade, then I'll move on to the SC, then the MMC. I'm going to sort of give you my thoughts on it, the looks, the feel, and then obviously of the performance as well. And then we're going to sit down afterwards and take a look at the number and see how these clubs compare and see what I think maybe might be the best one for you. First up, we've got the Blade, the MP-18, so it's 30 degrees 6 iron. I'm using Dynamic Gold AMT S300 shafts. I'm using the same shaft in each of these irons, and also they're all standard line angles as well. So I'm going to get 5 shots of each, then I'm going to sit down afterwards, take a look at some of those numbers using TrackMan, and I've got Z-Star, Strixon Z-Star golf balls. So behind the ball, it looks awesome. It's quite a small head, so it doesn't fill you, well, doesn't fill you with a lot of confidence, but first shot of the day, let's see how I get on. Wow, that felt awesome. Solid, but also felt quite soft as well. 166 carry. Does feel really nice. Nice shot as well, nice little draw. Okay, 2 more. Okay, so that's 5 shots of the Blade. I have to say, feels really nice. Feels soft, feels solid, feels powerful. So let's move on to the SC. So slightly bigger head, slightly more help on this one. Sitting behind the ball, you can slightly bigger, slightly thicker top line, slightly bigger head, fills you with a little bit more confidence. I do really like the look of this, really like it. Hopefully it performs well. Again, very similar sort of feel to the Blade. Maybe a little bit longer. Wow. Well, first impressions on the SC, really impressed with that. That felt awesome. So third one to try, the MMC. So again, slightly more progressively offset as I go through these clubs, slightly bigger heads as well. This is actually 28 degrees, so expecting a bit more yardage. So I was looking at 170 carry with the SC, so I'm expecting about 175 maybe. Looks great behind the ball though, it really does. A little bit thicker top line. Yeah, 174 carry, a little bit longer. Again, feels good. That felt really good, really good. 176 carry. They all feel amazing, solid, powerful. Okay, pretty good. So we're going to sit down now, take a look at some of that data. Okay, so you've seen me hit a few shots with each of these clubs on the TrackMan. So first up I hit the blade, which felt really good. Like I said on the camera there, it felt soft, felt solid as well, it felt really powerful. Then we moved on to the SC, very sort of similar feel, just a slightly bigger head, so it gives you a little bit more confidence. And again, the MMC as well felt amazing as well. So all these MP-18s felt really good. But for me, when I'm choosing a club, I want to look at not just the feel, that is important to me, but also the performance, the consistency and the control. So first up was the blade. So I've got the stats up on the screen here. I'm just going through it on my laptop here. Just at first glance, first thing I look at is sort of distance. And not that that's the most important thing, but I did mention we had two 30 degrees in the blade and the SC, and there's a 28 in the MMC. So just looking at the distance first of all, and the club head speed's virtually the same. So we had 169 carry with the blade, 169.7 with the SC, so 0.5 yards longer, not much in it really, exactly the same really. And then 174.3 carry with the MMC, which I sort of expected because it's a lower loft, so it's probably not the most important thing to me. I'm just going to bring up the sort of the trajectory, and if you take a look at the side view, and this is what I thought was really interesting. If you look at the ball flight on the blade first of all, the consistency in the height and the trajectory is almost identical. So 5 shots, there was hardly anything between that. If you move on to the SC, you'll see some slight differences in the trajectory and the sort of the landing spot. Even though it was quite a tight dispersion, I can see the trajectory wasn't quite as consistent as the blade. And then we moved on to the MMC, which is the most forgiving club, but again the trajectory wasn't as tight as the SC in that one. So you can see progressively, just looking at the consistency, for me, the blade was the most consistent, which obviously they're designed to be hit at the middle. Obviously all these clubs are, but with the blade especially, if you're slightly off centre, I would expect more varied results than this. But if I'm swinging well and you're playing well, then I think obviously the blade is going to be the best one for me. So overall, I was very impressed with all of these clubs. I was amazed actually how consistent the blade was. Looking at trajectory, so if I was to pick a club out of all of these, I think personally I would go for the blade, but it does come down to the individual. So what I would suggest, if you are looking at getting these MP-18s, and I think they look great and they feel great, so I'll definitely recommend them. I'm thinking about this myself actually, so Mizuno, if you're watching, you know. So yeah, for me personally, Blade was by far the best one, just looking at the stats, and I think that's really important when you're choosing a club. You do get some feedback from it. Obviously we've got the Trackman here, which is fantastic because you can go into a lot of detail. Something like that I might not have noticed, and I probably would have just picked up the SC if I was going for a set, because I would want something a little bit forgiving, but actually consistency wise the Blade was for me the best one. So golfers out there, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions on any of these clubs, post them in the box below. And like I said, these clubs are available from the 1st of September. At American Golf now we have these ready for fitting, so if you want to come down, it'd be great to see you, or if you can go to any store in the country, we'll be happy to help you out.
The most I can feel, I'm here and you're not. The ghost I